Hey dear students, welcome back to e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Patna. This lecture is for the BCom second semester for the subject Business Economics. Here in this lecture, we are going to deal with another topic under our second unit, that is price discrimination. So, while learning the features of monopoly market, we have got an idea about the price discrimination. We have also seen how the price discrimination is a feature of monopoly market, right? So today we are going to have a detailed study about the concept of price discrimination. So today we are going to see what is the exact meaning of price discrimination, about which we have little bit idea. After that we are going to see what are the required conditions for the price discrimination. Means what conditions should exist so that this strategy of price discrimination can be implemented. We are going to see that. After that, we are going to see objectives of price discrimination. Means for what sake, for what purpose, for achieving what kind of goals this price discrimination strategy has been adopted, that we are going to see in today's lecture. So let's begin with the meaning of price discrimination. So what is the meaning of discrimination? In last lecture, we have already discussed discrimination means having differences between something. Like I have given you the example of a teacher. Sometimes if a teacher pays more attention to certain students, or certain students like certain teachers, particular teachers more as compared to the other teachers, so we said that the particular teacher is making discrimination among the students, or the particular student is making discrimination among the teachers. They're biased. That is what we say, right? Like in the same way, discrimination is found in many areas, but here in economics, discrimination, there is a word which is prior to this discrimination, which is known as price. Okay, so when the discrimination is being happened associated with the price of certain product, price in certain market, in that case it will be called as price discrimination. We are going to try to understand this with the help of an example. Say there is a doctor. Okay, say there is a doctor. That doctor, if a poor patient goes to that doctor, okay, so he charges only 100 rupees as his fees. Okay, and if some rich patient or the celebrity goes to that doctor for taking the treatment, so that doctor charges 1000 rupees. Now, here the services which are being provided by the doctor for poor as well as rich people are same, but he is charging different prices to different people for the same services. So it is an example of price discrimination. But here the motive of price discrimination is not earning profit. Here he is doing it for the social cause, for the sake of social cause. Okay, we can take the another example, that is of electricity. When I say electricity, so if electricity is being utilized for the household purpose, okay, household purpose, so the consumption, so the units which are being charged for the electricity is less, okay, per unit electricity is available at lower cost. But if the electricity is being used for the industrial purpose, for the purpose of business, so more amount is charged for the same unit which is being consumed. So here again the unit is same, commodity is same, or the service is same, but for the different purposes the charges are different. So here also it's being the example of price discrimination, but here the government is making discrimination on the basis of uses of the product for the sake of earning profit, right? After that, we can also take the example of fees that we pay to universities or the colleges, right? So on the basis of different categories, the different fees are charged from the students. Okay, so this is also an example of price discrimination, but again it is not being done for the profit motive. So this way, price discrimination means charging going to see the meaning of price discrimination. Till now you must have been clear with it, but still we are just going to see it in a nutshell. Okay. So price discrimination is the method of pricing adopted by monopolists in order to earn abnormal profit. See, here we are learning business economics. We are learning about the strategies which are adopted by the businesses. Okay. So whenever this practice of price discrimination is being used by the monopolist, okay, so he does it with an intention to earn abnormal profit. So price discrimination is basically a strategy which is used in the monopoly market by the monopolist in order to earn the supernormal, in order to earn the abnormal profits. Okay, and again it refers to practice of charging different prices for different units of same commodity. Again, if the unit of your commodity differs, okay, so there can be different prices. Like if you are buying something in less quantities, okay, so you will have to pay more for it. Okay, if you are buying something in retail, okay, so you'll have to pay more for it. But if you are buying something in wholesale, you are buying in bulk, so you'll have to pay different prices. Okay, you get certain discounts, you get certain concessions. So that is also the price discrimination on the basis of the quantity of the commodity captured by. Okay, so this way the meaning of price discrimination we have understood. Now we are going to see what are the required conditions for implementing this strategy of price discrimination. So first condition over here is seller should have control over prices. See, if we talk about the perfect competition market, so there what we have seen, there we have seen the price is decided by the market forces. Okay, seller does not set the price, seller do not decide the price. If the price is not being decided by the seller, if the price is not being set by the seller, so can be discriminated? Of course not. But in monopoly, what we see? In monopoly, we see that the seller has influence over the prices. Okay, the seller has certain level of control over the prices, and that is why in monopoly market the seller can discriminate the prices. He can charge different prices to different customers for the same commodities or services. That is why the first condition which is necessary for the price discrimination is control over the prices. So for making price discrimination, seller should have control over prices. Okay. The second condition over here is two or more markets. Means seller should be able to categorize the market into two or more segments or two or more sub-markets. Now, how the seller can categorize the market in two or more sub-markets? So it can be done on the basis of elasticity. Elasticity of demand in different markets, okay? On the basis of elasticity of demand in different markets, or by taking into consideration the elasticity of demand in different markets, markets can be categorized into two or more sub-markets. After that, the next point is elasticity. See, if the demand is relatively less elastic, means if there are reach crowd in your consumer, so you can increase the prices. Try and understand this with the help of an example. Suppose you have reach crowd in your consumer, okay, and you are offering smartphone for 50,000 rupees. Okay, now due to more demand, if you are going to increase the price of this product from 50,000 to 60,000, so those who are paying 50,000 for the phone will not hesitate more in paying 60,000 for the phone, right? So there will be very less impact or relatively less impact on the demand of the phone when the market is relatively less elastic, when the market is relatively inelastic. Okay, so if your market is relatively inelastic, so you can increase the prices. Okay, but if you are having middle class crowd in your consumer, okay, if you are having middle class crowd in your consumer, so here you cannot directly increase the price. Why? Because here the elasticity will be high. If you are going to increase the prices of the product, demand of your product will be greatly influenced over here. That is why here, if the elasticity is less, if the demand for the product is relatively inelastic, so you can increase the prices. You can go for the price discrimination, and if the demand for product is relatively more elastic, so you cannot go for increasing the price. Okay, so this also needs to be taken into consideration while going for the price discrimination. After that, no scope for arbitration. See, now just assume that you are having two markets. Okay, you are having two sub-markets. This is sub-market 1, okay, and this is sub-market 2. Just assume you are having two sub-markets. This is sub-market 1, this is sub-market 2, okay. Now, in sub-market 1, you are selling your products for low prices, okay, low prices, and here in sub-market 2, you are selling your product for high prices. So here, if there is scope for arbitration, so what the consumer will do? Consumer will buy the goods from this low price market and sell the goods to this high price market, and in between the consumer will earn the profit, okay. And if the consumer will start earning the profit, so company will have to bear the huge loss. That is why while implementing the strategy of price discrimination, monopolists must see that there is no connectivity between two markets. There is no scope of arbitration between two markets. So these are the necessary conditions for implementing the strategy of price discrimination. Okay. Now we are going to see why the strategy of price discrimination is adopted by the monopolist. What is the purpose behind it? So here, first purpose is to earn maximum profit. Of course, by using this strategy, the firm wants to maximize its profit. The seller wants to maximize its profit, and that is why they use this strategy. So to earn maximum profit is one of the objectives of price discrimination. The second one is to dispose of surplus stock. Just say the seller is having two or more markets. So whatever surplus stock is being left with the seller, he can just sell it in this market without causing any changes in this first market, so that consumer would be having a good image of the product in the another market. Okay, because sometimes it happens that the prices of the product falls, so the consumer is having the psychological impact of it. Okay, they also reduce their demand. So in order to prevent this market from this, the monopolist will offer surplus stock in this market. Okay. After that, to enjoy economies of scale. What is the meaning of economies of scale? Economies of scale means advantages of large scale production, right? So here, in order to enjoy economies of scale, the seller will go for the strategy of price discrimination. Okay. After that, to capture foreign markets. The best example for making you understand this objective is to give you an example of China. You must have seen that the Chinese products are available at the cheapest price in the market, okay? And due to this feature, they have captured most of the foreign markets. In each and every foreign markets, in each and every sector, you will find the product of China, okay? So, in order to capture the market, offering your products at lower prices in the foreign market can be the objective of the seller behind going for the strategy of price discrimination. Okay. After that, to secure equity through pricing. See, to secure equity through pricing means by using the strategy of price discrimination, the seller wants to capture more and more market share. Okay. The seller wants to go for capturing more and more market share. The seller wants to create more and more goodwill in the market, goodwill for the product in the market. So this is the different objectives behind making price discrimination. So in this lecture, we are done with the meaning of price discrimination, conditions of price discrimination, and the objectives of price discrimination. In next